Okay, so today we're going to be focusing on finding the greatest common factor, or better known as GCF. So to find the greatest common factor, like the video before, looking at prime numbers, first we need to build our prime number tree. So what if I have the number 28 and 18, and I want to see what factors they have in common. So I'm going to first make my tree. So 28 breaks down into 2 and 14. 14 breaks down into 7 and 2. 18 breaks down into 2 and 9 breaks down into 3 and 3. So now I'm going to write the factorization by using all my primes, and I'm going to line them up. So to set this up, I'm going to have 28, you could have 18 on the top, and then I'm going to look back at my primes. I'll list them from least to greatest. So I have a 2 times a 2 times a 7, and then I have 18, and if I look back at those, I have a 2, and then I have 2 3s. So I have a 2 times a 3 times a 3. Now, for greatest common factor, you want to find what both of them have in common. Well, both of these have 1 2 in common. So the GCF is 2, okay, because they both have a 2 in common. It is not 2 times 2, because you're not multiplying them. Even if you did 2 times 2, that equals 4, right? And 4 is not a factor of 18, so that wouldn't make sense. So your greatest common factor for these two is 2. Now, what if you tried 54 and say 18? Okay, so let's break it down. 18 we know. 18 we know is 9 and 2, and then 3 and 3. Okay, so now we break down 54. So 54 is going, you really could say 9 and 6, right? I know I've been breaking these down by 2, but you could say 9 and 6, and then 6 is going to be 3 and 2, and 9 is going to be 3 and 3. So again, I see all my primes, I'm circling them. And now let's just go ahead and write these in a prime factorization. So if I have 54, that's going to be 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. And then 18 is going to be 2 times 3 times 3. Okay, so if I'm just looking at these two, I see that they have 1 3 in common, and then they have another 3 in common. Now when there's multiple primes that they have in common, you do multiply them. So GCF is going to be 1 3 times another 3, and that's going to equal 9, because they had 2 3s in common. Okay, so the greatest common factor is 9.